embroiled in a terrible and brutal war that left many mothers without sons. The Athenians had captured and killed the only son of King Minos, terrible tyrant of Crete. Minos, heartbroken, devastated and destroyed by the death of his only son, prayed to Poseidon, Lord and Master of the oceans and the seven seas. Poseidon rose from the depths of the ocean on a chariot led by 6 dolphins. Towering over Minos. What is it that you want from me, King Minos? I want victory. I want vengeance. I want to destroy the Athenians. Poseidon, with a flick of his gigantic finger on the waves, crushed and destroyed the Athenian fleets that were heading towards Crete. And with a clap of his hands, he destroyed and caused an earthquake that ruined and wrecked the armies that stood at the battlements of the Cretan city. Poseidon spoke in a loud and tremendous voice to Minos. For this I have done for you, King Minos. I have defeated and destroyed your attackers. And now there is one thing that you must do for me. On the next full moon, you must sacrifice a bull. A magical bull. He handed Minos a white bull made of moonbeams, with horns of pearls and hooves that shimmered like shells. And he gave to Minos this magical bull and said to him, "Sacrifice this bull for me, Minos, on the next full moon." Minos kissed Poseidon's feet, bowed and honored the god, and promised him the sacrifice would be made on the next full moon. And as the next full moon came into view, Minos led a procession of his people to the shores, to the sacrificial site. And there he made a decision. Not to sacrifice the bull that Poseidon had given him, but to keep it for his own, and in its place, sacrificed an earthly bull. Poseidon rose from the depths of the ocean, rose angered, rose furious. You have dishonored me. You have dishonored the gods, Minos, and in your dishonor you shall be cursed. Cursed for 1,000 years. You shall bear a son, a monster. Your son shall be the Minotaur. And so it was 9 months later. Minos' wife gave birth to a babe. Of a boy, but with the head of a bull, with horns of pearls and hooves that shimmered like shells, with the arms and the body of a man. By the age of 1, the Minotaur had ruined an entire house, brought it to its, knocked the bricks from it, and eaten the people that lived in it, mother, father, child. By the age of 5, it had rampaged through a street, knocking houses, people running in fear, and the Minotaur picking them up like they were nothing and eating them. By the age of 10, half of the city was in ruins, and the inhabitants ran, terrified and fearful, from the beast. What could be done? What could be done? Minos and his wife employed Darius, the architect of the gods themselves. It was said that Darius had built Olympus, house of the gods. So amazing was his mind that whatever he thought of would be built. And he employed Darius to build a labyrinth, to build a maze, subterranean, deep underneath the city, dungeon deep, deep, cave-like. So deep was this labyrinth that the twists and turns and tunnels and ceilings were hallucinations of the mind, were strange. You walked into this labyrinth not knowing which way to go, not knowing how to turn, not knowing where you were. Walls would appear in front of you from nowhere and go and vanish. You'd walk one way, and suddenly you'd fall down a slide and into a deep, dark, stenching pit. In the center of this labyrinth lived the Minotaur. And so, every 7 years, Minos ordered the inhabitants of Athens to send him 7 of the fairest girls and finest bulls to be offered in sacrifice. They would be ripped from the loving arms of their parents and sent on the wild waves on black-sailed ships to Cretan shores where they would never be heard of again. Vanish into the labyrinth. And so it was every 7 years. Every 7 years, the same sad tale. Children taken from their homes, down to the labyrinth, down to the Minotaur's lair. No champion came for the Athenians. No hero would stand tall and strong until Theseus came of age. Theseus, son of the king of Athens. Theseus, brave warrior, who had already had adventures defeating giants, who had already killed scorpions the size of 10 men. Theseus, warrior, hero, champion of Athens, came to his father's chamber one morning and said to his father, I am going to go to Crete. I am going to destroy this beast. I am going to free our people from the curse that holds us in their sway. Too long now have our sons and daughters died. Too long now have we suffered at the hands of the Cretans. No more of this. No, son. No, I have protected you. I have looked after you. I have cared for you. Do not go.